We're rolling.
So if you could just tell me your name and kind of your family background, your life up to the point of your diagnosis.
My name's Marc Palovitz. I was born and raised here in Camp Hill. I have two children, a daughter 18, Delaney, and a son, who's going to be 14, named Andrew. With my diagnosis, I went into Holy Spirit Hospital in the end of March and thought I had gallbladder issues. And they said that after they took some pictures and looked that it wasn't gallbladder issues, I actually had stage 4 pancreatic and liver cancer, which came as quite a surprise to myself and my family. I've been getting treatment here at the Cancer Center in Hershey. Great folks. Been getting infusion therapy there. It gets a little bit rough at times, but I do have my family and friends around to support me, and they help. My first time there, someone said, you need to get a hold of Vickie's Angels immediately, because they knew that the chemo was going to be pretty rough and I wouldn't be able to work. And I'd heard of them, but didn't know exactly what they do, and it was something cancer related. And my gosh, I called them and they were on top of it in 72 hours, and they were paying the mortgage on my house and asking for any other bills that I had, because they knew that it was sudden and I wasn't going to be able to work. I had two kids to support. They had that paid. They paid some other odd bills for me, and they call me every month and help me out. I sit in there with an infusion with all the different folks that are in there, kids included, and there's stuff out there for the kids, God bless them, but there really isn't that much for the adults, especially when you find out one day you're working blue collar, supporting the family, and the next day that just stopped. So Vickie's Angels they call themselves a bridge, but they're more like a lifeboat. They really are.
So you mentioned your kids. How did they react when they heard the news?
Everybody's still pretty much in shock. It wasn't what we thought we were, the prognosis that was going to be. I thought I'd probably just have to have something done with my gallbladder, but it was much worse.
Sure. So in the weeks following your diagnosis, besides your health, obviously, in your life, what were some other concerns that went through your head that you then realized it's going to be a lot more of a struggle than it was before?
Well, just like I said, mobility, me getting around, it weakens you a little bit. I can't do the things I used to do, and that kind of drives you a little bonkers. But certainly the financial piece of it also. I mean, if it wasn't for Vickie's Angels, I'm 49 years old, I'd be living in my dad's basement right now with my kids. So, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to lose everything that you worked so hard for. But that fast, it can happen.
I kind of already asked that. So, if you could go a little bit more in depth about how you found out about Vickie's Angel Foundation, specifically.
I'm from Camp Hill, and their office is in New Cumberland, and I've seen their signs out front of their business there, and I knew it was, like I said, something to do with cancer. But the social worker, the first day I was at the Penn State Cancer Center, she said, excuse me, you need to get on the phone with these folks, and they'll point you in the right direction. And they really did. I was just amazed, and still am, at the response, the immediate response that you get from them. Just helpful, friendly folks. Can't say enough about Mickey and his crew over there.
So, I know you spoke a little bit to this with saying, 72-hour turnarounds and whatnot, but you could kind of go a little more into detail about your first contact with Vickie's Angel and how that all went, and what they talked you through and the kind of people that you met there.
Mickey sent me an email, personal email, that night after I'd called, and had some questions for me. I answered them. The next day, he was back on with another email and wanted to know if he could give me a call that afternoon. And they just rolled right into action. It was, they do a round-robin discussion on a speakerphone once a month, and ask you how you're doing. They have a nurse that's on staff there who's asking about treatments. There are local businessmen there asking about bills or any struggles that you're having, and it's just remarkable, I think, at the speed that they move.
We'll ask him about the application process.
Yeah. I mean, kind of talked about it a little bit, but how did you find that the application process was easy or simple to do? And
very simple. Very simple. And basically, they had the ball rolling just by the questions I answered through the email, the initial email that first day, and then we just finished the process up. It was very, very quick, very easy, painless.
So, what are some of the expenses that Vickie's Angels has helped you manage?
Like I said, the mortgage, I had a vehicle bill, which I needed to get paid off so I could get back and forth to treatment here in Hershey. And it was a couple $100 that I didn't have at the time that they took care of immediately. That day, the business owner knew the business owner of the garage, said, I'll give him a call, we'll have this taken care of, and it was. And you know, I'm on the road now.
That's awesome. Let me think. So, what kind of things besides Vickie's Angels and maybe even, well, I guess your family would definitely be one, but like, what are some examples of things that keep you going and keep you positive in a time like this?
Oh yeah, obviously my friends and family. Just at one day at a time, you know, that's how we take it. Everything's looking pretty good right now, health-wise, so I can't complain there.
Yeah, if you could just go into more detail about where you are in your process, treatment-wise.
They won't give me a real solid date. The prognosis isn't great with inoperable pancreatic cancer. Someplace I read 4 to 7 months. We don't know when we found it. But I do infusion chemotherapy about every other week if it doesn't make me too sick. Those first few days are rough. You know, sleeping, very tired, very weak. Then it starts to get a little bit better, and I start to rebound from it toward the end of the week, and hopefully can have a good weekend with the kids then, you know, if I'm feeling better.
Do you have any advice for others in a similar situation to you about Vickie's Angels, or just, you know, tips in general about dealing with something like this?
Vickie's Angels are the only people that had ever been mentioned to me for help, and you know, if you're in this, you find yourself in this situation, that's who you need to turn to, because you know, the disability process, which I'm in now for Social Security, it doesn't happen overnight. So there's going to be a gap where your bills are going to start piling up. You know, and so get on it as fast as you can, and you won't be unpleased with the results.
Are there any other general life tips aside from Vickie's Angels that you would want to tell anybody out there who might be feeling hopeless in a time like this?
There are feelings of hopelessness, but you just got to keep pushing forward. Try to, I mean, you realize there's some stuff you just can't do anymore, but you just got to come to terms with it and do what you can do. You know, it's a nice summer, so try and enjoy that as much as possible. Stay out and keep the sun in your face.
I have a question. Yeah. What was that first feeling when you realized that Vickie's Angels was going to help you?
Oh, I didn't believe it, to be honest. I didn't think it was going to be that easy. And they, like I said, 72 hours, there was a receipt that the bill was paid to my house, and that the bill was paid for my car, and I was just like, who are these folks, you know? And I haven't been disappointed at all. I mean, they're quick at what they do.
So if you could say 1 or 2 things to the people out there that you don't know, the anonymous people that have donated to the cause, what would your words to them be?
Oh, living proof right here, you know, of what it does for families, for individuals. You know, I don't know where I'd be without it right now. I don't.
And then kind of a similar question, but this is this is toward Mr. Minnick and Christine and other people who work at Vickie's Angels. What would you say to them if they were here in the room? What would you say to them?
Oh, I've said it to them, and I'll say it again. You know, the thanks, I just can't repay them and can't say enough about it. They've had me come in and talk to some of the hospitals about, you know, stepping up their donation process, and I just can't believe that, you know, most of the hospitals in the area aren't a part of this or aren't a piece of it. And I'm kind of surprised that there are a lot of people, even in my family and in my community, in my circle of friends, that were in the same position I was. They knew what Vickie's Angels was a helpful group for cancer, but other than that, you didn't really have an idea of exactly what they did and how quick they dig in and start helping.
That's why we do videos like this, so we can get that word out.
Yeah.
So this video is going to be shown a lot of places, and it's going to be around forever, basically. So is there anything else, you know, on your heart, on your mind, that you would want to share with people out there that are going to see something like this? Anything you can think of?
Just, you know, it's hard to believe what a helpful group this was, what a lifesaver it was for me and my family. The donations are appreciated, and we just got to make sure that this whole thing keeps going for other families in the future.
You guys think of any other?
I have one question for you. In addition to financial support and the quick turnover and all of that, can you speak to the emotional support and maybe the bond that you formed with the people over at Vickie's Angel?
Oh, absolutely. I know that Mickey had gone through some experience with his wife, in which he said this is why he started this organization. But it's just kind words, you know, they call on Tuesday mornings, and it's just a kind word to a bunch of different people on a speakerphone, but it's genuine. Everyone cares. Everyone has very, you know, pointed questions. They certainly know what they're doing. I just hope the organization stays around. I really do.
Think of any, Kevin, question?
I think you covered it pretty well, but if anything else in your head or on your mind, it's up to you. It's freestyle at this point.
And you want to talk a little bit more about your process of the diagnosis and then kind of the treatment and then where you are now. I don't know if we caught a little bit of that, but maybe just go into more in case we will have more introduction for your videos.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Like I said, the diagnosis was very sudden. A doctor came in and pretty much just said we're not looking at gallbladder or gallstones issues anymore. We've got an area in your pancreas that's very concerning to us, and also in your liver. So they went and did MRIs and CAT scans and said, yeah, you have inoperable stage 4 cancer. And it took a couple days for that to set in. It really did. And I hesitated telling my family also till I could wrap my head around it. And then the next few days, I was in Hershey, and they had started the infusion therapy, and went down that road, because that's quite a rocky road. Just really knocks you down. Gives you, it's like having the flu times 10, you know. But it goes away then, and if just when you're about ready to feel normal again, you're back in for it the next week. But it slowed down the growth of the tumors in my pancreas and in my liver, so it's doing something.
What kind of symptoms were you seeing, so that maybe someone out there, you know, is experiencing something similar, they don't know what it is, maybe they can catch it earlier? Like, what were some of those things that led you to think it might have been gallbladder, and then find out what it actually was?
Looking back, it was just gall pain, and I had problems in my gallbladder before, and it's hereditary in my family also. And I'd been in the hospital last year for that, and they didn't want to operate. And then this time, when I went, I figured, okay, they're probably going to remove my gallbladder, but it didn't go down that way. And honestly, really no symptoms, other than the pain that had initially brought me in there. There was no symptoms at all, and that's what's scary.
Is it usually that way with pancreatic? Or
I don't know.
Done any research into that?
I don't know. I have had chronic pancreatitis, you know, in the past, so that's a lot of times with the docs. They've looked at my pancreas plenty of times, but this time they found an anomaly in it, and it wasn't good.
And are are you still receiving help from Vickie's Angels? Are you hoping that maybe with some great news you can kind of get back on your feet and get into work? Or are you still going to be probably with the program for a couple more months? Or
I don't know. So however long they offer to help, you know, I appreciate every month what they do. I'm with the local congressman now trying to expedite my Social Security disability, and hopefully that'll come through, and we won't need to rely on Vickie so much, and they can pass that money on to another family. But I certainly appreciate everything they're doing now.
So last year we lost my uncle to esophageal cancer, and I know, you know, he was given a very short period that they thought, and I mean he was going much longer than they thought, and he attributed a lot of that to his positive attitude. Would you agree that that's something that definitely helps, and would that be advice that you would want to give to people who maybe are going through something similar and would see this video?
Yeah, the doctors aren't mind readers. They can't tell the future, and I don't think they like to give you too much of a time frame to look at, and that's discouraging anyways, because now you're always looking at that date. So no, be positive, keep going, wake up every day, you know, stay out of the hospital, you know, and yeah, be positive and be around your friends and family as much as you can.
I think that's a good way to end it.
Yeah, I love it. That one.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
Certainly.
Yeah, this is gonna help a lot.
I hope so.